Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Director Cordray, thank you for appearing here before us today. It's probably not going to surprise you. The first issue I want to get into is big data. Director Cordray, how many individual credit card accounts is the Bureau monitoring using its supervisory authority on a monthly basis?
So I've been asked this question a number of times, and I've said a number of times that that's not the way in which we proceed. We are not looking to monitor individual consumers' credit card accounts. We have no interest in what individuals like you and I are spending or what our habits or patterns are. What we're trying to do is monitor the practices of large institutions, how they treat things like late fees, interest rate changes, and so forth for their customers. And so we're looking at it from a standpoint of monitoring large institutions, not individual consumers.
Well, I understand, and I know you've answered it that way many times, but
yes.
Isn't it correct that the Bureau has a contract with a data aggregator and that you collect data from, I think, up to 9 financial institutions, and that, as I understand it, under your contract, you require the financial institutions to submit close to 100 data fields for each credit card that you are monitoring, account that you are monitoring every month. Is that not correct?
That's roughly correct, but what I would say is this is not something new that we're doing that doesn't exist previously. We're simply accessing the very same set of information that has been developed privately by the private market, that has been utilized by fellow regulators, and we're not, when you say 100 fields, that's not something new or different. We haven't added a large number of additional fields.
Well,
we're simply drawing on existing information.
As I've gotten into this, I've realized that there actually are other federal regulators seeking access to the same information, and I understand that. That does not necessarily make it okay. The Bureau, as I understand it, has set a goal of monitoring 80% of the U.S. credit card market. Just extrapolating from that, using the U.S. Census Bureau data, that goal would represent about 900 million credit card accounts. Is that an accurate reflection of the Bureau's goal and their activities in terms of reviewing credit card account activity?
Again, the Bureau is not about reviewing any number of individual consumer accounts. What we're doing instead is illustrated by what we just did a month ago. Congress required us to do a report on the credit card industry and the credit card market, to examine how the CARD Act has affected that market and to be able to report to you as a member of Congress on how you can make policy around this and how you did with the CARD Act. We can't do that without data.
Senator. I understand that, and I understand that you want to focus it on the institutions and the market. But the fact is that you are collecting data on individual credit card accounts. Is that not correct?
We don't have any different data than the industry has itself and the fellow regulators have. There's nothing new or different about this project.
And would the number of accounts be approximately 900 million credit card accounts?
I don't know what the number of an account is, and again, that's not our focus. It is to oversee the number of credit card issuers, not monitor the behavior of individuals.
Well, I understand your stated purpose. The point is that in order to achieve the purpose you described, you are collecting individualized information on, as we calculated, about 900 million accounts. I just want you to acknowledge whether that is correct.
What I want to say to you is we're not doing anything new. The notion that we're coming up with some brand new database or some brand new data or it's somehow different in kind, it's not.
Would it be incorrect, though, to say that the 9 institutions who you have providing information to you are providing to you on a monthly basis about 100 data points on every credit card account that they manage?
Again, it would be accurate to say that what we are getting is the same thing that fellow regulators have gotten, and it's the same thing the industry itself is using to oversee the credit card market.
I take your answer to be that that is accurate and that other institutions and private sector entities are doing the same thing. Is that your answer?
I don't dispute what you're saying, but I think it's important to understand, again, this is not about monitoring individual consumer behavior. I don't care about any individual, and we're not tracking anybody's credit card spending or of any sort. What we're trying to do is, if I'm going to oversee the largest financial institutions in this country and be able to take enforcement actions, as we've done against a number of credit card issuers. We have to know what they're doing. We have to know what the effect is on the market. We have to know whether laws are being complied with. I make no apologies. We need the data to do that, and we cannot do it without the data, nor could we report to you on what's happening in the credit card market so that you could consider whether you want to make adjustments in the Card Act or not.
Well, Director, I understand that, and I know you've given that answer multiple times. I just want you to state directly to us what, as you collect this data, what the extent of individual account data it is that you are collecting. Is my description of it inaccurate?
We are collecting, as I said, the same data that has already been collected by fellow regulators. Nothing new or different about that.
But I didn't ask who else was collecting it.
The reach of it is such to give us confidence that we can oversee the credit card market, know what the patterns of treatment are by financial institutions to consumers, and protect consumers if, in fact, somebody's violating the law or harming consumers.
Well, Director, I take your answer to be that I did correctly describe it. Thank you.